5 minutes ago, the door to the United Kingdom didn't just close for Meghan Markle, it was slammed, bolted, and welded shut. For months, whispers have been circulating about a potential return, a peace-offering trip for the Invictus Games in Birmingham. But sources confirm that what arrived at Buckingham Palace wasn't a peace treaty. It was a list of demands so delusional, so detached from reality that it has reportedly shaken the walls of the institution. We aren't talking about a request for a nice suite or a private car. We are exposing a document that insiders are calling the Hyatt Ultimatum. It is a dossier of conditions that attempts to hold the British monarchy hostage. From locking down entire sectors of a major city to a demand regarding human eye contact that is frankly disturbing, the details you are about to hear expose the true state of affairs in Montecito. But the palace isn't playing by the old rules anymore. While Meghan may have expected a negotiation, what she got was a brutal reality check. King Charles and Prince William have looked at this list and issued a response that changes everything. We are looking at a permanent ban in all but name. Why did she demand a fortress for a sporting event? What is the terrifying security trap she is setting for the royal family? And why does Prince William believe this is the most dangerous move she has ever made? Do not click away. We are about to reveal the two words the palace used to trash these diva demands forever, and the dark strategy hiding behind the bulletproof glass. To understand why the palace reportedly threw this document in the trash, we have to look at the sheer scale of the audacity. This wasn't a travel itinerary. It was a blueprint for a takeover. Insiders reveal that for her potential trip to the Invictus Games, the Duchess of Sussex demanded 4 entire floors of the Hyatt Hotel be completely shut down for her exclusive use. Let's pause and consider the arrogance of that request. We are talking about a commercial hotel in a bustling city center during a major event for veterans. She expects paying guests, families, business travelers, and perhaps even the very veterans the games are supposed to honor to be displaced or barred so she can exist in a vacuum-sealed bubble. Even legitimate heads of state, presidents, and prime ministers often settle for a presidential suite and a secure wing. But for the Duchess, a suite is not enough. She wants a fortress. The list goes on. She is reportedly asking for bulletproof glass to be installed at the games and armed security to saturate every location she visits. This isn't just about safety. If it were, she would trust the expert intelligence of the British police. This is about status. It is about projecting an image to the world that she is the most important person in the room, the city, and the country. Alongside the hotel lockdown, the list reportedly includes a fleet of luxury cars and 24/7 drivers to ferry her around like a visiting empress. She demanded a police escort from the airport straight to the hotel, ensuring she never has to endure the indignity of sitting in traffic like a normal citizen. And the entourage, it is fit for a Hollywood blockbuster, not a charity visit. She is reportedly flying in her own chef assistant and a full hair and makeup team. Apparently, British food and British stylists are not up to her standards. But the most egregious demand, 4 separate rooms dedicated solely to her PR staff. Think about that. 4 rooms just for the spin doctors. This confirms what critics have long suspected: this trip isn't about the veterans. It is a PR stunt. It is a photo opportunity designed to restock her image bank, and she expects the infrastructure of the United Kingdom to bend the knee to make it happen. These are what sources are calling jaw-dropping conditions. She wants the red carpet rolled out, the streets cleared, and the buildings emptied. It is, quite frankly, highway robbery. She wants the perks of being a senior working royal, the security, the palaces, the deference, without doing a single day of the actual work. But if you think demanding 4 floors of a hotel is bad, wait until you hear the rules she reportedly tries to impose on the human beings who have to serve her. We often focus on the politics, but we must not ignore the moral cost of these demands. Let's look at who actually pays the price for this Hyatt Ultimatum. It isn't just the king writing a check, it is the veterans themselves. The Invictus Games were founded to highlight the resilience of wounded warriors, men and women who have sacrificed their bodies for their nations. Yet insiders point out that Meghan's demands effectively treat these heroes as background noise to her main event. By demanding exclusive use of hotel floors and sterilized travel routes, she is reportedly prioritizing her own comfort over the accessibility needs of the very people the event is supposed to honor. Imagine a veteran perhaps dealing with mobility issues, or PTSD being forced to relocate rooms or face travel delays because the Duchess needs a vacuum-sealed arrival. It creates a sickening contrast, the selfless sacrifice of the soldier versus the selfish demands of the celebrity. It turns a platform for heroes into a stage for a diva, and for many in the military community, this is the ultimate betrayal. She is taking an event designed to heal others and using it to feed her own ego. If the demand for bulletproof glass paints Meghan as paranoid, the demands regarding the staff paint a much darker picture of her character. We have arrived at the most disturbing part of the dossier, the invisible staff rule. According to the leaked conditions, locking down 4 floors wasn't enough to satisfy the need for total control. She reportedly wants to control where people look. Insiders reveal a draconian instruction given to venue staff: they are not allowed to look at her. Let that sink in. We are talking about bellboys, cleaners, waiters, working-class men and women who are just trying to do their jobs. They are reportedly being told that they are not worthy of making eye contact with the Duchess of Sussex. This is a rule that belongs in the feudal courts of the 16th century, not in modern Britain, and certainly not coming from a woman who built her entire brand on being a relatable American mom who hugs strangers. It is the height of arrogance. It suggests that she views herself as a deity and the staff as peasants who must avert their gaze. For an audience in America where we value a firm handshake and looking someone in the eye as a sign of respect, this is the ultimate insult. It strips the worker of their dignity. It says, "I am so far above you that you do not exist in my world." But the demands don't stop at eye contact. They extend to how she must be addressed. Despite quitting the royal family, despite trashing the institution on Netflix, and despite claiming she wanted freedom from titles, the demand list is explicit. Another insider adds that anyone who has any interaction with her has to call her Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. No exceptions. That means if a maid knocks on the door to bring fresh towels, she cannot say, "Here are your towels, ma'am." She must recite the full royal title. This is the definition of hypocrisy. Meghan hates the protocol when it restricts her behavior, but she seemingly loves the protocol when she can use it to belittle others. This isn't just a rumor for this upcoming trip. It is a pattern of behavior. Reports surfaced from her time in New York where she stayed in a huge townhouse. Even there, in the middle of a republic, the cleaner had to announce her as Her Royal Highness every time she entered a room, even when there was only one other person in the house. Imagine the scene: a cleaner forced to act like a royal herald in a private living room just to feed an ego. This invisible staff rule exposes the lie at the heart of the Sussex brand. You cannot preach about equality, compassion, and community on a podcast and then walk through a hotel demanding that the help stare at the floor. It creates an atmosphere of fear, not respect. And for the palace officials reviewing these demands, this was likely the tipping point. They know that the British public, who value their dignity and detest snobbery, would never tolerate this behavior. But as offensive as these demands are, there is a darker theory emerging about why she made them. What if she knows these demands are impossible? What if this entire list isn't about getting a hotel room, but about setting a trap? As we analyze the bulletproof glass, the hotel lockdown, the invisible staff, it is easy to simply label this as diva behavior. But sources close to the palace believe there is something far more Machiavellian at play here. They suspect that this dossier isn't a wish list, it is a weapon. We call it the security trap. Think about it logically. Meghan is a smart woman. She understands how the world works. She knows that the British government is currently battling a cost of living crisis. She knows that the Metropolitan Police have strictly stated that security is not for hire. She knows without a shadow of a doubt that demanding the lockdown of a major city hotel for a non-working royal is politically impossible. So why ask for it? Why submit a list that you know will be rejected? The answer is chillingly simple. She wants them to say no. Insiders suggest that this entire charade is a setup. By setting the bar for her return impossibly high, Meghan creates a perfect win-win scenario for her narrative and a lose-lose for the royal family. If the palace somehow agrees to these insane demands, she returns to the UK as a conqueror, proving she is more powerful than the institution. But if the palace refuses, which she knows they must, she gets to play her favorite card, the victim. She is arguably engineering a rejection so she can go on television, perhaps another sit-down with Oprah or a tearful segment on CBS, and say, "I wanted to go back. I wanted to support the veterans. I wanted my children to know their heritage. But the firm refused to keep me safe." It is the ultimate gaslighting tactic. She takes the consequences of her own unreasonable behavior and twists them to make the royal family look like the villains who left a mother and her children unprotected. She will not step foot in Britain without full protection, police escorts, no risks period. That is the line she has drawn in the sand, and it is a line designed to be crossed. This cynical game of chess reminds us that true safety isn't just about bulletproof glass. It's about being surrounded by people who genuinely care for you, not those who use you for PR. But she forgot one thing. She forgot that she is not dealing with the patient Queen Elizabeth anymore. She is dealing with Prince William. If Meghan Markle thought she could bully the British monarchy into submission with a security trap, she made a catastrophic miscalculation. She forgot that the person standing at the gate is no longer just a grieving brother. He is the Prince of Wales. And sources inside Kensington Palace confirm that William has drawn a definitive red line. While King Charles, in his fatherly softness, might still feel a twinge of sadness for his erratic son William, has reportedly reached the point of enough is enough. This week, we saw the first major move in William's counteroffensive. Reports confirm that he has hired one of the country's most experienced crisis management PR experts to work within his team day to day. This is not a routine hire. This is a war cabinet appointment. William is preparing to fight fire with fire because he understands exactly what Meghan is trying to do. He knows that this isn't just about a hotel room in Birmingham. It is about establishing a rival royal court. Let's analyze the danger that William sees. If the palace agrees to Meghan's demands, if they give her the bulletproof protection and the official police escorts, they are essentially granting her the status of an internationally protected person, IPP. This is the golden ticket that Meghan desperately craves. With IPP status, Harry and Meghan could travel anywhere in the world. New York, Colombia, Nigeria, maybe even fashion weeks in Paris, and bill the British taxpayer for their security. They could play royal on the global stage, shaking hands with dignitaries and pretending to represent the crown, all while profiting for themselves. It would be a fake monarchy funded by real public money. William sees this threat clearly. He knows that a victory for Harry here would mean they had partly achieved what they always wanted to be, half-in, half-out royals. They would get the major perk of automatic taxpayer-funded protection, but none of the obligations of public service. It is the ultimate betrayal of Queen Elizabeth's legacy. You cannot be half in and half out, and William has positioned himself as the enforcer of that legacy. Insiders suggest that it was William who strongly advised against any negotiation with the Hyatt Ultimatum. His stance is reportedly absolute no duties, no security. If you want the perks of the palace, you must do the work of the palace. You cannot trash the family on Netflix, sell secrets to Oprah, and then expect a fleet of police cars to escort you to a luxury hotel. William understands that giving in to a bully only invites more bullying. As the commentary noted, someone with this mindset is going to make your life miserable if you give them an inch. Meghan wants a mile. William refuses to give her a millimeter. But as William holds the line, the reality of Meghan's situation in America is becoming desperate. Without the royal fairy dust and without the victory of a UK return, her empire is crumbling. If Prince William's refusal was a blow to Meghan's ego, it was a death sentence for her bank account. Why is Meghan Markle so desperate to return to a country she claims to hate? Why submit a list of diva demands for a security fortress just to attend a sporting event? The answer is not nostalgia. It is survival. As critics have brutally but accurately noted, the clock has struck midnight for the Duchess of Sussex. The royal fairy dust is finally wearing off, and the lavish bandwagon she's been riding high on is finally turning back into a pumpkin. For 6 years, Meghan has traded on her connection to the Windsors. She sold secrets to Oprah. She sold a reality show to Netflix. She sold a memoir via Harry. But now the inventory is empty. She has nothing left to sell. Hollywood, a town that smells desperation, like a shark, smells blood, has turned its back on her. Her podcast was canceled, her Spotify deal was axed, and her grand launch of American Riviera Orchard has been met with a deafening silence. Let's be honest, no one in America wants to buy strawberry jam from a middle-aged minor actress from Suits. They want to buy exclusivity from a royal duchess. Without the connection to King Charles and Prince William, Meghan Markle is just another influencer in Montecito trying to hawk kitchenware. She needs to re-up on that magic. She needs a new photo op. She needs to be seen standing on British soil surrounded by security being treated like royalty. She needs that image to remind the world and her investors that she is still important. She is discovering a brutal truth about capitalism. Infamy is not the same as influence. You can be famous for being difficult, but you cannot monetize it. Major luxury brands like Dior, Chanel, or even lifestyle conglomerates stay far away from this kind of controversy. They want aspiration, not conflict. They want a duchess who opens hospitals, not a reality star who shuts down hotels. By making herself a walking security headache and a constant source of friction, Meghan essentially labels herself unsafe for corporate sponsorship. High-end CEOs look at these Hyatt Ultimatums and see a liability. If she treats hotel staff this poorly, how will she treat their employees? If she demands a fortress just to visit a city, what will she demand to attend a launch party? She has become what Hollywood agents call a toxic asset, someone who costs more to manage than she generates in profit. That is why the permanent ban and the rejection of her demands is such a catastrophe for her business plan. She was banking on this UK return to be the commercial reboot of her life. She likely envisioned a triumphant tour, flashing cameras, cheering crowds managed by security, and headlines that would boost her brand's value. Instead, she is launching leather bookmarks made by a small English company, a pathetic attempt to cling to some semblance of British heritage while sitting 5,000 miles away. It is a dud, a complete failure. Insiders suggest that Meghan knows her American dream is turning into a nightmare. She knows she cannot make money or have the life that she envisioned for herself staying in California. She needs proximity to the UK to stay relevant. But William's red line has cut off that supply chain. By refusing to give her the IPP status and the fortress security, the palace has effectively demonetized her. They have told the world she is not one of us. Do not buy what she is selling. The tragedy for Meghan is that she burned the very bridge she now desperately needs to cross to survive. She insulted the customers, the British public, and sued the management, the palace. And now, as her brand dies a slow public death, she is left with a warehouse full of jam and a calendar full of empty dates. She is plotting. She is scheming. Meghan is trying to go get some more fairy dust. But with the Hyatt Ultimatum in the trash, her plot has failed. She is trapped in the gilded cage of Montecito, watching her relevance fade with every passing day. And that brings us to the final inevitable conclusion. With no way back to the UK and no future in Hollywood, what happens when the exile becomes permanent? As the heavy doors of the palace symbolically swing shut on these diva demands, we are left with a profound lesson that extends far beyond the royal family. Meghan Markle's list, the bulletproof glass. The hotel lockdown, the demand for titles, is not just a PR disaster. It is a masterclass in hubris. It teaches us a fundamental truth about life. You cannot demand respect. You have to earn it. Meghan tried to negotiate with an institution that has stood for 1,000 years, thinking she could dictate terms. But she forgot that you cannot have the privileges of the crown without the burden of the duty. Now, instead of a royal welcome, she faces the reality that no one actually wants her here. The permanent ban isn't a piece of paper signed by the king. It is the natural consequence of burning bridges, and then expecting the people you burn to carry you across the water. Now, the final verdict belongs to you, the jury of public opinion. Do you think King Charles should take the final step to end these diva demands once and for all? Should the king strip Harry and Meghan of their titles to stop them from commercializing the monarchy? Type strip titles in the comments if you think it is time to cut the cord. Type keep if you think they should remain Duke and Duchess. If you appreciate uncensored truth and believe that duty should always come before diva behavior, please hit that like button. It helps us fight the algorithm. I'll see you in the next video.